What makes a leader worth following?
What should you really care about in your job as technology is changing so quickly?
Is it just going to be about machines talking to other machines? I mean, should you quit your job and start something on your own? What would that take?
What does success and risk look like when we're all at the starting gate together?
These are the questions we answer each week on Lead Human with Jack Myers and Tim Spengler.
Join us each week and subscribe at your favorite podcast platform and YouTube.
We'll tell stories. We'll hear from some of the best, and we'll try to figure this out together.
Business is booming, but you know what really helped? Xero, the accounting platform for small businesses. I used to think unpaid bills were just part of it. Ugh. But batch payments? Wow. Automated accounts payable? Even better. All in one place. That's a big one. And I can keep track from my phone while I get the job done. No bills in sight. What a life. Do right by yourself and your business and search XERO for your free trial. Conditions apply.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bullspend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Magic, the podcast where we talk about technology, innovation, AI, spatial computing, and everything in between. I'm your host, Cathy Hackl, and I'm joined, as always, by my amazing friend and co-host, Lee Kebler. Lee, what's going on?
Well, first off, we finally found fall. I don't know how it is in DC, but here it's fantastic. So I'm excited about that. And this, to geek out, because this will lead into something really easy. In Portland, we hold the Portland Retro Gaming Expo every fall. It's the world's largest retro gaming convention, and it is genuinely stupidly huge. They hold the Tetris World Championships here, so that's
so
at
it's
the
like
end
retro.
It's retro.
Seriously retro.
People don't realize this, but like Portland has a ridiculous amount of arcades, like old school arcades, like stand-up machine arcades. Like every neighborhood has their own pocket arcade. It's weird. And they all get together and they go to the convention center, and it just turns into the world's largest arcade, and like every video game brand shows up. It's like PAX West, but for like Gen X.
Oh, that's hilarious. PAX West is a gaming. It's a game conference, by the way. PAX East, PAX West, yeah. Usually tends to run younger.
Yeah, it's just an older gamers. The original gamers. It's the original game, not older.
There
the
you
OG
go.
Gamers convention.
Gaming conference.
So everyone's getting really excited about that. So I'll be there all weekend. Going to have a good time. And so, yeah, that's where things stand right now. How about you?
I love that. No, it's fallish. In the DC area, it's fallish. In the DC area, it's like yucky weather, rainy. Sometimes it's a little warmer. Seasonal allergies here are insanely bad. Like I'm experiencing them right now. I'm like,
oh,
please,
that's so bad.
I need it to be fall. Please let it be fall so I can feel.
Everything needs to just die for a little bit.
Yes, I just need that. But I mean, it's going to start to look really pretty soon, and time to go to the wineries and go to the cabins and do all that fun stuff. So, but no, it's good. I'm going to an arcade opening, but not that type of arcade. I'm going to the second F1 arcade opening in the US here in DC, October 9th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like literally you're like driving, all this virtual driving.
That's cool.
Suck at Mario Kart. I suck at driving virtual cars. So I don't think I'm going to do a great job in driving an F1 virtual car, but I'm going to go because it's going to be so much fun.
I was about to say, playing Mario Kart and actually sitting in like a virtual cockpit and steering wheel is different. But then I also like briefly remembered how much you hate driving. So it probably doesn't matter.
It's one of the things I absolutely hate in life. Yeah, I have an Uber addiction. You're not driving? No, I absolutely do not like driving.
And just for listeners, like the first time that Cathy and I had to go on a business trip together, we arrived at the airport around the same time, coming from different directions. And she just threw keys at me. She's like, you're driving. I'm not doing
driving. I'm not doing this. Yeah. Anyone that knows me knows I am not a big... It is not that I'm a bad driver. I just get a lot of anxiety. So I'm just like, if I can outsource it, I absolutely will. It's going to be the VIP opening. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big F1 fan. So like, I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going with my friend Katie. So it'll just be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be fun. Speaking of Mario Kart, and I found this out yesterday and I told you today. Well, okay, so we're recording today, September 23rd. Monday.
September 23rd.
And so that's important because this goes live on Wednesday. In the past, on Monday, was Nintendo's birthday. And a shockingly staggering age of 135.
Such longevity. They've been biohacking. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Nintendo. Yeah. They started off as a playing card company. A lot of people don't know that they made like toys and playing cards for way longer than their video game venture has been around. But obviously their video game venture is what has kept them around for sure. Could you imagine, like, so we have the Cincinnati playing card company that makes like bicycle playing cards, which you see everywhere in the US, right? Like in the US, we have bicycle playing cards. Could you imagine if that had turned into Atari and Atari took over in the US, right? Like, because that's effectively what happened, right? Their playing card company went into video games and then the rest is history. It's just a wild history.
And the rest, and now they have a part at Universal Studios. Yeah, no. Happy birthday, Nintendo. We're obviously big fans here.
But where's the Switch 2 announcement? Come on.
You keep waiting for it.
I honestly thought they were going to do it today because it was their birthday. I thought maybe they're just holding off. They keep trickling the information.
We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait. We'll see. We're still big Switch users here. We're here at the Hackl house. So it is what it is. But lots to talk about. So much. I was on the money with Snap. Was I not?
You were 100% on the money.
The chips are on my side of the table now. I called it.
You called it, but I'm not convinced it matters. I said it out loud. Ouch. I know, those are fighting words.
I'm happy. I just got accepted into the developers program. So, okay, lay it on me. What's up?
Part of it is the developers program, right? Like
that's I think where the problem is. Okay.
I think that might be part of where the problem is. So for those who don't know, Snap made a bunch of announcements. They're making strong moves. But one of their big announcements was wearable augmented reality glasses.
Spectacle version, whatever.
Yeah, Spectacles version AR. And they look good. They, like all AR goggles, they have some limitations. The field of view is not great, blah, 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 blah. They're a little chunky on the head. But for a developer kit, fine. I'm all for it. I went to the site. I was ready. And then I started going through the developer agreement.
Did you read the whole thing? I didn't do that. I was literally like, give me this thing and let me start creating.
You just threw money at the screen.
I applied. If I'm giving selling my soul to the devil here, I already did. Tell me what I just did. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so they did basically like the complete opposite of Apple. And I don't think Apple did the right thing either. Like, I think that the truth lies in the center. So what they said was, okay, we're going to let developers sign up and be able to access this hardware at something like $199 a month. I'd have to go back and look at, what was it?
$99.
Okay, $99 a month, which doesn't sound bad, except for in that terms of service, it never clarifies if you own the glasses.
Wow.
So it's $99 a month with a minimum of a 12-month term. So you're looking at $1,200.
Are you renting the device?
I haven't figured that out, but in the language, it says for access to. It does not say you are purchasing. It doesn't seem to include an ownership. I don't know.
But that's weird. Like, developer kits are made to be broken or break.
And maybe that's part of it. Maybe they assume that. So they're looking at like, okay, these are going to break. So we're going to make sure you always have access to it.
Yeah.
In which case, I can see a positivity there. I can.
The investment, $99, compared to what I paid for two of these, golly.
Yes, I agree with you. And that's why I said I don't think Apple did it right either. So if we're going to make sure that as long as you're paying for this, you're going to have access to a pair of glasses. Yeah. And if you ever stop, you get to own those glasses. Cool. After a minimum of 12 months, I get $1,200 for the glasses, for their support. It's a developer kit, all on board. It's just that I haven't found anywhere in that terms of service that you get to keep the glasses after your 12 months. That doesn't sit completely right with me. I might be wrong. Let us know. You can reach out. Get a hold of us through the podcast. I want to hear from you. But from what I could tell, I don't think you get to keep the glasses if you end your subscription.
I'll let you know because I got in. I want to start creating for this. I will tell you something. I think it was you that said this. I'm not sure who it was. But I appreciate the honesty in the field of view during the keynote. As someone that has worked at Vive, at Magic Leap, like that was always like an issue. I thought that keynote on stage, Evan Spiegel wearing it, and the field of view, the limitation of it was honest.
Yes.
And I appreciate that, at least.
And the same thing for like Microsoft, right? Like the HoloLens has had a horrible field of view, the first one, even the second one, which they improved it. But it is striking that we're this far into this technology and that field of view has not greatly improved over time.
Well, optics are hard.
It is.
And I do have to say this, a lot of the innovation in optics does happen in Israel. And obviously, there's a lot of things happening over on that side. So because at least at Magic Leap, it was, I remember, I think it was Zurich, and then a lot of the other innovation with the optics happened in Israel. A lot of that does happen there. So
yeah, you're right. And I'm indifferent. I'm not bearish or bullish. I want to see what happens. I'm gonna wait and see. The reason why I said I don't know if it matters is because by the time this show goes live on Wednesday, we'll be in the middle of MetaConnect. And honestly, we're all just reading tea leaves at this point.
I tell you, this is going to be hardware heat. I think this is the moment Mark Zuckerberg has been waiting for. And he said this, Apple's our biggest competitor.
I so disagree with that statement. I'm sorry, Mark.
You said so on the podcast. This is the thing, and this is where my head's at. So Meta has never been a hardware company. They've tried.
Yeah.
Never done great. They do succeed at VR because they bought Oculus and they've doubled down on that. And no one can disagree there that they lead the market when it comes to VR.
Absolutely.
Got it. But where Apple is innovating, which is spatial computing, AR, see-through stuff, it's passed through right now. But I think they're going to bring some hardware. This is the moment Zuckerberg has been waiting for to bring it to Apple to compete. I said this to a friend of mine. I said, this is the cage match that Zuckerberg wanted. It's Meta and Facebook in the octagon, duking it out for hardware supremacy over the next couple of months.
Meta and Apple.
I think they're going to bring something. They're going to bring several products. This is my prediction. I'm a futurist, but I don't like predicting. I think about possible futures. But in this case, I think they're going to bring us a cheaper Quest. They're going to bring tons of more content. They're going to bring us updates to the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. And they're going to introduce us to those new AR glasses, not available yet, but that will be available in the future, that are going to wow everyone and are going to do see-through AR. They're going to be multimodal. It's going to change the game. And it's going to light a fire on the Apple Vision group.
Yeah, I agree. And I can ensure probably about half of what you've said, because we've seen a couple of things leak and a couple of things change, even today. So today it came out that it looks like there's going to be a stop on production for the Quest 3 128 gigabyte hard drive version. So I think it's like 512 or maybe 256. I think it's 512. Those will still go into production. That should lead us to the Quest 3S that will have a 256 gig. And then we'll just be beyond the 128. That just won't be a thing anymore. But that Quest 3S, which is really tempting, even though I've got a stack of VR headsets all behind me, like I need another one. It's supposed to be like $299.
Yeah, that's going to be all over the Christmas trees. Holidays, Hanukkah, whatever it is, like you're going to be gifting these things. 'Tis the season for VR. 'Tis the season for Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I don't know. I mean, it's September and I'm already making Christmas predictions, but whatever.
We don't have confirmation on like AR Ray-Bans. Let me just be clear here. We're just super hopeful because that would be amazing. You think we have a good shot at this?
They're going to wow us. They're going to bring the heat. All the signals are telling me everything Boss says in his AMAs, everything he said, what Meta's doing. I think they're going to announce more AI updates. So maybe some minimal AR to the Ray-Bans currently, but they are going to talk to us about the EAR glasses they've been working on. They're going to,
All right, so you want my wild bat crap crazy prediction?
Okay, let's go crazy.
Okay.
What is blue sky thinking here?
I think if I'm reading the news correctly, we might actually see an official support partnership or announcement for the Godot engine for game development, because like you said, content is key. We need more content. We're already seeing that support for Godot come to the Quest 3 this very weekend. For those who don't know.
Yeah, explain to folks, because I sent this to you and I said, this looks like a big deal to me. Elaborate.
So Godot is a game engine like Unreal, made by Epic, or Unity, which anyone who's listened to this podcast know what we're talking about. And by and large, those two have been the Coke and Pepsi, the Apple, Microsoft, the Ford, Chevrolet of game engines for like the better part of 15 years. And that's just the way it's been. Godot has slowly crept up, and it got a big boost when Unity's former CEO made some very questionable business decisions on how their terms of service and licensing were going to play out for the next year. So a bunch of developers who didn't agree with those changes said, what else can I use? And so they started utilizing something called Godot, which was a fledgling open source game engine. Now, at the time, it did not have VR support, but quickly and rapidly, with the increase of support and development in the open source community, has been able to branch out into this. This is a really good sign for Meta because they seem to latch on to open source technologies that they can leverage to their benefit and open up more content really simply. They did the same thing with like marrying Android, basically. They tiptoed around having their own operating system and they said, you know what? Why would we do that? This exists. The community supports it. Let's go in this direction. They did the exact same for like coding languages, programming languages. So seeing Godot get support for the Quest, and specifically the Quest 3, oh, that's really tantalizing because that means a lot of new content from indie developers who don't have to go through anything more than hardware and a computer. There's no more of these licensing agreements and paying out the nose to continue your games going. It's a big deal. I asked a couple of my developers, how big of a deal is this? And their response is, it's as big of a deal as Blender. No one really paid attention to Blender about 10 years ago, and 3ds Max was the thing. And I'm not saying 3ds Max doesn't exist and isn't a big deal. All of these 3D engines are a big deal. But Blender definitely became the come up, and Godot looks like it's right there. If they officially make an announcement at MetaConnect for support with Godot and like a department that's going to focus on these type of things, and here's your development standards, for developers, that's game changer. That's huge.
I could see that being a side announcement. Like, I don't see it on stage.
Okay, maybe they don't do it on stage, but if the MetaConnects were more developer focused like they used to be in the past.
When you and I used to go, yeah.
Yeah, it would definitely be an onstage thing because they really tried to make a partnership with Epic back in the day. But if they can do something with Godot, this could really push that forward. At a $299 hardware price point, this is why I say it competes with the Switch. What are you going to put under the Christmas tree? The Switch 2 or the Quest 3S?
The Ray-Ban glasses, but okay.
No, for you. Yeah, I get it. But if you've got like a 12-year-old.
Hey. I will say, this is like going down memory lane because you and I have been to a lot of these developer conferences. I don't know which year it was. I was sitting on the front row and Zuckerberg had started the keynote, passed it over to Mike Verdu, who used to be head of games. Now he's at Netflix. And a picture of me and my friend Nava actually made it into the keynote.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, we were like, that's us on stage in the keynote. This is when it was Oculus, right? So there was more niche, more developer, VR, XR focus, but I will remember that fondly forever. Anyway, I made it into the keynote. Yeah. One day I'm going to be on those stages doing the keynotes myself. So anyway, just future thinking.
I'm there for
you. Anyway, okay, so MetaConnect, we're very excited about it. We'll go back next episode and figure out who got the chips.
I think we both win in this one. I think, yeah, we're aligned on this.
I don't know about the Godot thing. That might be a side thing. Like, it's big in the developer community. I get it, but I don't know if that's going to make...
They made a big deal about Spark.
Well, I wonder what they're going to introduce. Like, are they going to...
That's what I think Godot is.
You think that's really what they're going to do?
Spark was just a game engine.
Well, that's true. A crappy one. But
it had its limitations. So if they've been you can say that out loud. Spark was a crappy engine. Why? Because they're not going to promote it anymore. Like, it's not hurting anybody's feelings. It's gone.
It is gone. It has been killed. So okay.
Software is where you can speak ill of the dead. Okay, like that's the one space where
that
it's
is
okay.
The one space. I will say, okay, another thing I do expect, maybe more fashion brands. They've got the partnership and investment into Luxottica, which owns Ray-Ban. Yes. I'm excited. I'm waiting to see what fashion. Obviously, that's
we saw some leaks today that they're working on revamping the avatars and the wearables and all of that's coming. It's looking much better. So I think along with all of those things, we're bound to see some type of like wearable partnerships.
Yeah. So we're going to see that. Other news related to XR, HTC announced the Vive Focus Vision with color pass-through and an eye on gaming. I worked at Vive many years ago, so wanted to include that. Not sure how big this is. This might be bigger maybe for the enterprise market and some of the Asian market.
I mean, it's bigger for like the Asia market is a big
Vive is pretty big over there. So.
Yeah, they're a significant player on the other side of the globe. I'd like to see them become more significant because there was a point in time where they owned VR in the US, like 2016, 2017. Yeah.
When I got started, Vive was it. I mean,
they ruled.
I got hired at Vive for Oculus Launchpad in like 2017. And one of the things that what they were like really interested in was like, okay, you did the Launchpad thing.
And the people that I know over at HTC Vive and the developer community, they're fantastic. I'm rooting for them.
I just saw Alvin Grayland, who's like very high up in the organization. And yeah, they have some pretty amazing innovations. From a marketing perspective, there's so much more they could be doing, but that's just me putting my marketing hat on.
That's true. I agree with you.
So we're going to go on break. And then when we get back, we're going to talk about Epic. We'll talk about TwitchCon and some of the announcements made there. Obviously, we're going to talk about AI because every single podcast that touches technology has to talk about AI. And then we'll do Dispatch from the Fringe. So let's go on break.
This message is brought to you by Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. And this is more than an ad. This is an invitation to be part of the stories the world can't stop watching, to connect with moments that dominate the conversation, to participate in culture, not just advertise around it. With the most sought-after IP, passionate audiences, and an advanced AI-powered foundation, WBD advertising transforms attention into influence and impressions into outcomes. This is innovation. This is impact. This is opportunity. This is Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. Visit advertising.wbd.com to learn more.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them. That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Yetis, this is Nick and Jack from the Best One Yet podcast. Now, the last company we worked at, they used Paylocity and everything just worked. It wasn't until launching our own media business, this show, that we realized how rare that is.
Because Paylocity is one delicious burrito of operational needs. They roll up HR, finance, and IT seamlessly into one delicious bite.
When everything wraps together like that all at once, your workforce, your tech stack, your business, you don't need more tools. You don't even need cilantro.
You need one solution.
And that is why Paylocity built a single platform to connect HR, finance, and IT with AI-driven insights and automated workflows that simplify the complex and power what's next.
Or as we call it, a delicious operational burrito.
Yes, we do. Experience a one place for all your HCM needs, besties.
So start now at Paylocity.com/one.
Paylocity.com/ONE.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What if you laughed all through your commute? Or if you heard the funniest story while at the gym? Well, now you can. I'm Jamila Jamil, and guests on my new podcast, Wrong Turns, share their most mortifying and hilarious disaster stories. I'm talking people like Mae Martin, Bob the Drag Queen, Catherine Ryan, Jake Johnson, Margaret Cho, Simon Pegg, Penn Badgley, and so many more. So listen wherever you get your podcast, Wrong Turns, where dignity goes to die.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
All right, Lee. So you sent me this. This is an email you got. Epic will launch Fab, a new digital marketplace. Can you tell folks a little bit about Fab?
Yeah. So at some point, Epic and Sketchfab partnered together. I don't know if Epic actually fully enveloped them and bought them. I believe that they acquired them. Sketchfab was a platform where 3D modelers and artists could upload their content and sell it or give it away for free, make it licensable so you could put it in your video games and things like that. It became the asset store for game developers, which makes a whole lot of sense of why Epic would want it, because Unity had an asset store built into it. Epic needed one. Boom, they buy Sketchfab. Now they've got it. Now they're looking at completely doing a rebrand on it and turning it into just Fab. This is really quite interesting because it's going to push a different directive for publishers, people who actually make the art. Fab publishers are going to keep 100% of the revenue share on what they sell on Fab. That's huge.
Which is huge, by the way, for any type of marketplace and developer situation. So
yeah. So that's all we really know about it right now, but it is a move, and we've not heard a lot from Epic recently. They've been doing status quo. I've not heard a whole lot of like big moves or changes or shifts outside of like,
outside of the Lego partnership.
Yeah, partnerships and things like that. Yeah, they're doing.
Yeah.
But like as it comes to their business structure, this is the first I've heard in probably a couple of months. So yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. Sketchfab turning into Fab, but the fact that these publishers who make this stuff are going to be able to keep 100% of revenue share, that's huge. Congrats. Good work on Epic for finding a way to make that like a viable business model for them and for the people who will be using it.
Yeah. Other news. So TwitchCon happened last week. So Twitch is owned by Amazon. They unveiled a brand customized Fortnite game world called The Glitch. The cool thing is like they can actually create within The Glitch brand customizable game worlds within that experience within The Glitch. So different brands. I think, there's a food brand that partnered with them to do one of the first game. You can create customizable integrations that affect the gameplay. They look at it as a viral place for young players to visit. Let's see how it goes. Cool that they went into Fortnite, created their own map. They're doing fun stuff. I didn't really see that much from TwitchCon. I don't know if it used to be like such a big deal. Like,
no, I saw some really cool stuff, but
what else did you see? Because I didn't really pay attention to it as much, to be honest.
So I saw a move by a company that I'm a big fan of, but I never talk about on this show. There's a music hardware brand called Roland. They're out of Japan. They've been around since the 70s or 80s. They created the 808 drum machine. So that boom pow. Oh, that reminds me, we have to talk about Black Eyed Peas on this show. We absolutely have to do that. But so they created that drum machine, and like they've been in the hardware space for musicians ever since. But this time they actually showed up at TwitchCon and they had an entire series of mini devices to make streaming easier for people. Just like tiny little interfaces that are affordable for young people if you're in college or whatever. So you don't have to have like big bulky gear, all of it USB-C enabled, all of it having backup battery stuff. They just made a lot of like hardware announcements. And I don't think there's an easier time to get into streaming now that Roland has like rolled out all of these amazing new kind of like pieced together, what do you need for your studio for maybe a couple $100? Like, it's really quite exciting.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was really impressed with that. They're making some really interesting design choices, and I've been a big fan of them. So seeing them show up and cross from the music side of things into the streaming side of things is actually really quite a logical progression. So I'm excited for them. We'll see how things go. But if anything, it's good for the creatives.
That's something I didn't like pay attention to be honest. But I was paying more attention to the Fortnite.
I'm a hardware guy. I love hardware.
Yeah, and you're a music guy. So I guess, okay, the next thing, we are going to talk about AI, right? Because even though we talk a lot about gaming on this podcast, we talk about AI as well. Okay, so I'm going to just introduce this, and then you can tell us a little bit more or your opinion. So Black Eyed Peas has a residency in Vegas next year. Mm-hmm. That's coming up. And by the way, New Kids on the Block also have a residency, which I'm definitely going to go with my besties. I'm going to go to both because I love both, but New Kids on the Block, I cannot miss that. But yeah, Black Eyed Peas has a residency next year. They are going to be unveiling a female member of the Peas who's AI. It's an AI-based singer. Her name is Vida. Vida means life in Spanish. So thoughts. I just read the quotes from will.i.am, which Will, you're closer to this than I am.
None of this surprises me, first off. So Will's always had a really good relationship with residencies in Vegas. So when they announced that they were going to do a residency for the whole Black Eyed Peas, because Will actually had his own residency at the MGM back in 2012. So for the whole Peas to be able to get a residency in Vegas totally makes sense. And in very Will Black Eyed Peas fashion, this is going to be a cyberpunk all the way to the wall. Like, it's just going to be crazy.
Does this mean you're getting us tickets to opening night to cover for the podcast?
That's a good question. I can write a text message. I'll see what I can do. I'll go.
Yeah. Will, if you're listening.
So for those who have not been following Will on the tech side of things, because that's actually where I know Will from.
Tell them who you were. Come on.
Okay, so I oversaw a lot of the technology that Will was putting together in like the early 2012, 2013, 2014 era. Definitely that era where like the Black Eyed Peas were super
futuristic. Yeah. You were one of the masterminds.
I worked on all of those tech projects. And so people don't really realize how long Will has been on the AI train. It has been since like 2014. We were doing experimental projects. We didn't call it AI. We didn't even call them large language models. It was mostly like trying to get a responsive voice model to talk and be prompted. He's been wanting to do this for ages. And it totally makes sense. Since Fergie's left the P's, there's always been a little bit of a void, and that void can be filled with the Vita project. And if anyone is going to be able to make it happen, it's going to be him, because he has a lot of legacy in AI. He was there for the announcement of Udio. I don't know what his full partnership with Udio, or if it is a partnership with Udio, but he was there for the announcement of Udio. And so I know he knows people in that camp and what it means to bring AI into music space and how to do it correctly. There's a lot there. And even in FYI, which is his own social creative syncing app, he has a lot of integrated artificial intelligence built into it, so you can prompt it during the creative process, which works incredibly well. So far as to, even on his podcast on SiriusXM, his co-host is AI. One of the voices within that podcast is an AI entity that him and his team have been slowly developing.
Does this mean I should replace you with an AI, Lee?
I dare you. I dare you. No,
I dare you.
Please don't.
I dare you. No, I won't. I had to interject. I had to say that. I'm really interested in seeing the embodiment of Vita.
Yeah.
Because if you go to London and you go to the ABBA show where they have the 4 ABBA, they're all holograms, right? This is them at their prime. Yep. Singing Dancing Queen. Like, it's truly amazing. Like, there's no phones allowed, like, but it's truly an amazing experience. So I'm interested in seeing how they do the embodiment of Vita. Is it going to be screen? Is it going to be a mesh, some type of a hologram mesh? There's like a special fabric that can be used for that. It's very expensive.
He did specifically say that it wasn't going to be a hologram.
Okay. Maybe she'll be through our phones. Who knows? I'm interested in the embodiment portion of it. How do you embody this new member? Integrate her into the choreography, the flow of the music. Like, that's where my main interest lies, is in seeing how this is all integrated and the embodiment of the virtual being.
Yeah, there was some hints to a couple of articles that I had read that he'd said in it, and just like knowing his brain, this totally makes sense what he's trying. I get what he's trying to do, and I think that he can pull it off, and it'll be amazing. There's a lot of this like desire to be able to communicate with this Vita, and everybody on stage will have access to the Vita entity, supposedly to like work as a show producer, even in the background. Like, why should it just be a voice if it can do so much more? And it can be integrated into other types of controls. That's how I met Will, was through controlling things on stage through means that were abnormal. I did a lot of like depth sensing and camera gesture recognition and things like that. So he's always been on that level of how better and more tight can we make a show.
Wouldn't it be cool if the audience has some type of control over what Vita does? Like, that could be so interactive.
I would be surprised if that's not floating around as an idea.
I could see the interactivity, like breaking that wall of the interactivity of folks. So,
and supposedly Vita is loosely based off of an idea that he saw from Taylor Swift's Eras tour. So I'm very interested to see how this pans out, what it, like the final deliverable looks like. It's going to be cool.
Whatever he takes from that inspiration, he's going to make it his own. And it's going to be its own thing. It's going to be with a Will.i.am stamp of innovation. So loosely inspired, whatever. Like, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Work on those tickets, please.
Okay.
2 for you, 2 for me.
I'll see what I can do.
Can take our partner. Anyway, other things. So my friends at Neurable, which are a brain-computer interface company, have some big news coming this week. Can't really share much, but making some big waves this week. So if you're interested in brain-computer interface technology that people are going to be able to use every day, check it out. Neurable is making waves this week. They actually just went to the Red Sox game at Fenway Park and had a sign that said, Neurable, congratulations on your upcoming launch. So not everyone gets that type of shout out at Fenway Park. So yeah, congratulations to Ramses and my friends. Amazing. Keep your eyes on that. BCI is definitely brain computer interface, and AI is something that we talk a lot about on the show. So before we go to dispatch, I want to talk about this story, which you sent me, and is something that you and I have talked a lot about, is like the future of the internet. So the dead internet theory comes to life with new AI-powered social media app. Elaborate for us, please, Lee.
I think they're just trying to speed run the death of the internet.
Speed run the death of the internet. I don't know.
Yeah.
The spatial web is coming. The spatial web is coming.
For those who are unfamiliar with the dead internet theory, it is a growing trend. And I don't know if anyone takes it that seriously, but there's some validity behind it, that there are so many bots that are posting, commenting, and reposting that when you are on the internet, the population density that you think you're interacting with could potentially be zero. It's an interesting mind game because it's kind of that Schrodinger's cat. Like, unless you open the box, you really don't know. And we don't know if the internet is dead or not while the box is still closed, right? We know there's poison in it, but we don't know.
How much poison?
Right.
A little bit, a lot? Is it all poisoned?
So Social AI is a startup that has actually created a social media when a user is interacting with it. And I am totally going to experiment with this when I get my hands on it. It's 100% AI. You never are interacting with a real person, but at least you know it. I think that's what's helpful is like, now you know it. And it might be the thing that you can like give that crazy relative who rants on Facebook access to, and you don't tell them that it's fake, and you just let them do their thing. It could solve so many Thanksgivings.
It could make
so
it worse.
many Christmases.
I'm on the other side of here. Ooh.
It's like that scene from The Office where they give one of the employees a weblog, but it's just a Word document, and he thinks he's writing all of his crazy thoughts on the weblog. Right? Okay. So you give Creed Word document and say, here's your web page, and you put all your dark stuff there.
There's some crazies out there. I don't know about that.
Let him just argue with AI. I think it's brilliant.
Just argue with AI.
I love it.
Argue with AI.
I love it. Go argue at a wall. It's fine.
There you go. All right. So now we're going to go to Lily's dispatch from the fringe. Today, she will talk to us about caffeinated ramen for video gaming. Lily, take it away.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bull spend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Yetis, this is Nick and Jack from the Best One Yet podcast. Now, the last company we worked at, they used Paylocity and everything just worked. It wasn't until launching our own media business, this show, that we realized how rare that is.
Because Paylocity is one delicious burrito of operational needs. They roll up HR, finance, and IT seamlessly into one delicious bite.
When everything wraps together like that all at once, your workforce, your tech stack, your business, you don't need more tools. You don't even need cilantro.
You need one solution.
And that is why Paylocity built a single platform to connect HR, finance, and IT with AI-driven insights and automated workflows that simplify the complex and power what's next.
Or as we call it, a delicious operational burrito.
Yes, we do. Experience a one place for all your HCM needs, besties.
So start now at Paylocity.com/one.
Paylocity.com/ONE.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit Jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Welcome to this week's Dispatch from the Fringe. This week's story comes courtesy of Lee. He found it, and I can't wait to talk about it because it has to do with food and gaming, and who doesn't like both of those? This story is about a squeezable ramen pouch that you can eat with one hand. It's called Boost Noodle and was developed by a Japanese brand called Nippon Haim. The Boost Noodle was developed by a young developer himself who is also a gamer and wanted to be able to eat ramen while playing his online competitive games for a long time. The 120-gram pouch of soup has about 35 milligrams of caffeine, so it can give you a boost of caffeinated energy, roughly a third a cup of coffee, and a boost from simply eating. So you can have your game and eat your jelly-like rich seafood and pork bone soup too. The Boost Noodle was released on July 27th, and the press release says it's available through e-commerce sites for 660 yen, about $4.31. Unfortunately, I looked around on some Japanese online grocery stores and other websites, and I wasn't able to find it. So if you are able to find the Boost Noodle pouch, please let me know because I would love to give it a try. Thanks for listening, and that's this week's Dispatch from the Fringe.
All right, Lee, do we really need this?
No, that's the easy answer is no one even asked for
Why
it.
do we have this?
Yes, caffeinated ramen from a squeeze tube so gamers can eat one-handed.
That sounds like, what was that movie? The Disney movie? Oh, gosh. I can't remember. The one in space, and they're all in the little carts and eating through like a tube. And Wall-E.
As soon as I read this article and saw, there's pictures of it, and it's like noodles coming out of a tube, like a tube of toothpaste.
Ew.
See, that was the joke, is it's ew, mommy.
Oh, God, it is. There you go.
Get it? That's a good joke, right? Ew, mommy.
Oh, God, that's disgusting. Lily, thank you. Thank you for always finding the weird, bringing some laughter to this podcast. We're too serious about AI gaming here. We need a little comedic relief here. Oh, my gosh. All right. So keeping our eyes on MetaConnect this week. Keeping our eyes on everything happening in the gaming space. AI. I was just talking to someone. They're like, Johnny Ive's also working on hardware. I think people need to realize that in the next 6 to 18 months, we're going to get a Cambrian explosion of hardware. All sorts of glasses, all sorts of devices. Some will stick, some will die. There's no form factor necessarily that's going to win, but hardware wars are here because everyone's going to package that AI into an iPhone 16, which I didn't upgrade to, but they're going to try to put the AI into something. And yeah, that's what I'm keeping my eye on.
It's coming. We'll find out what happened the next week.
All right. Well, Lee, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody else.
Yeah, thanks to everyone for listening to Tech Magic. We'll be back next week. And send us your comments. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Bye, everyone.